Greetings everyone, it's Lisa. Today our discussion centers around Thragg, the Viltrumite emperor and a formidable warrior known for his ruthlessness. If you find the content engaging, express your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Now, let's delve into the topic. Grand Regent Thragg originated on the planet Viltrum, thousands of years in the past. He underwent comprehensive combat training and was genetically engineered to be the most formidable of the Viltrumites. Following the demise of Emperor Argal at the hands of Thetis, Thragg actively participated in the Viltrumite Civil War, showcasing his extraordinary strength. In the aftermath, Thragg assumed leadership, steering the Viltrumites into an indomitable force. Bestowed with the title of Grand Regent, his primary duty was to locate Argal's heir. As a grim reminder of the consequences of imperial chaos, Thragg retained Argal's skull. The creation of the Scourge virus resulted in a drastic reduction of Viltrumite numbers, leading Thragg to believe that all potential heirs were deceased. Consequently, he abandoned the search and solidified his position among the Viltrumites. Post-Scourge, only 50 pure-blooded Viltrumites remained, and Thragg undertook the monumental task of restoring the Empire's former glory while combating external threats in the galaxy. Omni-Man's betrayal prompted Thragg to dispatch Conquest to subjugate Earth. When Conquest failed, Thragg confronted him, and despite Conquest's plea for mercy, Thragg considered him still useful and assigned him, along with Lucan and an unnamed Viltrumite, to eliminate Invincible and his allies. As events unfolded, Thragg discovered a spy within the coalition of planets, and his focus shifted to Telescria. Initiating an assault on the coalition's base, Thragg communicated with the skull of the former Emperor Argal, vowing vengeance upon Thetis. However, Mark and Oliver thwarted his plans, compelling a retreat to Viltrum. 3 days later, when the coalition arrived, Thragg led the Viltrumite charge. In the ensuing battle, he incapacitated Oliver and engaged in a fierce confrontation with Invincible, taunting him about his perceived superiority. Mark revealed Conquest's demise and vowed to defeat Thragg. Following the destruction of Viltrum by Thetis, Mark and Nolan, Thragg, consumed by anger, beheaded Thetis, declaring vengeance for Lord Argal and proclaiming death to all who opposed the Viltrum Empire. He charges toward Mark, landing punches that seem ineffective against Invincible's resilience. Thragg relentlessly pummels Invincible's temples until Nolan Grayson intervenes, prompting Thragg to reveal Thetis's role in Lord Argal's demise. An intense confrontation ensues, with Thragg headbutting Nolan before being interrupted by Battlebeast. Thragg dismissively tosses Battlebeast aside and seizes Mark and Nolan once more, attempting to smash their heads together. Nolan, hoping to save his son, intervenes, only to be kicked by Thragg. Mark is caught by Thragg, who proceeds to brutalize him. Nolan catches up and Thragg impales him with his arm. However, just as Thragg is about to kill Invincible, he inexplicably decides to spare them, emphasizing the necessity of all Viltrumites for the survival of the Viltrum Empire. Thragg and the Viltrumites retreat to their warship. Later on Earth, Thragg reveals himself to Mark and Nolan, asserting the Viltrumites' presence. Despite Mark's attempt to fight, Thragg suggests a dialogue. Thragg proposes surrender, but with a condition: the Viltrumites will take over Earth. He explains their plan to assimilate among humans, interbreeding to replenish their ranks while refraining from interference in human events. Mark initially rejects the proposal, but reluctantly agrees, understanding the consequences if they refuse. Thragg expresses gratitude for ensuring Viltrumite survival and departs, concluding the Viltrumite War. Subsequently, in space, Thragg confronts Alan and Oliver, revealing awareness of Alan's plan to unleash the Scourge virus on Earth. Thragg challenges Alan, stating he can kill him before the virus takes effect. However, Alan proposes a truce, reasoning that their ongoing conflict is futile. Despite Oliver's anger, a truce is reluctantly accepted. Their meeting is disrupted by the Guardians of the Globe and Robot, attempting to capture Mark. Thragg withstands an attack from Monster Girl, knocking her away. Amidst the chaos, Oliver seizes the virus dispenser and rushes to Earth, prompting a temporary halt in the battle. Bulletproof questions Thragg's identity. Later, it is revealed that Mark has been infected with the Scourge virus, and Thragg takes him aboard the Viltrumite warship. Thragg discloses to Cecil Stedman the agreement with Mark and asserts the lack of alternatives. Thragg appears before the Guardians of the Globe and Dinosaurus, eventually agreeing to Dinosaurus's usefulness. After dispatching the Guardians, Thragg retreats to an observation room where a scientist discloses Mark's lineage. Thragg kills the scientist and heads to his quarters, interrupted by Dinosaurus hacking into them. Thragg attempts to kill Mark to protect his Grand Regent title, but Dinosaurus's attack proves futile. Thragg remains unharmed, and after learning of Dinosaurus's explosive plan, pummels him. Dinosaurus escapes with Mark, leaving Thragg to encounter Adam Eve inquiring about Mark's whereabouts. Eve endeavors to confront Thragg, but he dismissively laughs and redirects her attention to Dinosaurus. Following the Flaxan invasion of London, Thragg rebukes Craig for interfering and is taken aback when Craig reveals his affection for his numerous mates. Thragg calls a meeting of the Viltrum Empire, sternly instructing them not to interfere with Mark and Dinosaurus's affairs, threatening death for disobedience. He chastises Lucan, Craig, and Anissa for disregarding his orders and, repulsed by their affection for humans, demands their departure. Later, on the far side of the moon, Thragg encounters Nolan with his wife, leading to a furious confrontation. Thragg, revealing him as Argal's son, severely injures Nolan in their battle. However, the fight is interrupted by Craig, Anissa, Lucan, and Thula, who turn on Thragg upon learning Nolan's lineage. Nolan persuades them to spare Thragg, leading to his imprisonment. Thragg, defiant, demands death from Nolan, who instead sentences him to exile. Exiled to planet Thraxa, Thragg takes advantage of his extended lifespan, impregnating several Thraxan women to create an army of Thraxan Viltrumite hybrids. Anticipating an attack from the Coalition, he is surprised to discover that Battlebeast has been assigned the task. Thragg and Battlebeast, after briefly joining forces against the Ragnars, engage in a prolonged and brutal battle. Despite Thragg's victory, Battlebeast expresses gratitude for the fight before succumbing to his injuries. Thragg, now wearing Battlebeast's hide as a cape, has his injuries tended to by the Thraxans. On the run with his Thraxan offspring, Thragg avoids Coalition spies, killing those who cross his path. Space Racer detects him, prompting a confrontation in which Thragg attempts to kill Space Racer without success. During Mark's absence in another timeline, Thragg rebuilds the Viltrum Empire and his children reach adolescence. He orchestrates attacks on Coalition planets through his daughter and son. Thragg intervenes in a conflict between his children, and Oliver, acting as a double agent, requests a face-to-face meeting. Thragg kills Ragnars in front of his offspring and orders his children, Onan and Ursal, to kill Mark Grayson. Despite Oliver's disapproval, Thragg informs him of his intention to locate and kill Mark and his family. Amidst the chaotic clash between Thragg's children and Mark and Eve, Thragg himself arrives and seizes Terra. In a desperate struggle against him, Oliver intervenes to help Terra escape. But Thragg swiftly impales and kills Oliver, using his blood to taunt Terra. Mark and Eve arrive on the scene, and Mark, holding Onan hostage, implores Thragg to release Terra. Mark ultimately kills Onan and engages Thragg in a fierce battle. Thragg gains the upper hand, tearing Mark in half, while Ursal seemingly dispatches Eve. Thragg departs with his daughter, leaving Terra alone and on the brink of death as her parents lie in near-death states. In the aftermath, Ursal mourns Onan's demise, and Thragg reluctantly tries to comfort her, expressing their unique importance to him. Undeterred by the losses, Thragg continues his conquest, leading his army to conquer more planets and cause more deaths. When the coalition of planets discovers Thragg's base and launches an all-out attack, he sends his children, now seemingly revived, to confront Mark. However, their attempts prove futile, and Thragg, showing no regard for their well-being, instructs them to stop sacrificing themselves. Ursal confronts Thragg over this, but he dismissively asserts the necessity of sacrifices for their mission, claiming fallen soldiers were weak and deserved death. In the final battle, Nolan and Thragg engage in a brutal confrontation, exchanging blows. Despite Nolan's efforts, Thragg proves too formidable, breaking Nolan's hand with a headbutt. Mark intervenes to protect Nolan, but Thragg dismisses him, vowing to save Mark for later. When Nolan tries to defy Thragg, he retaliates by tearing Nolan's heart out, leaving him for dead. Mark, witnessing the brutality, charges at Thragg, who throws him away and calls in his children for assistance. Using them as projectiles, Thragg throws them at Mark, causing them to splatter on impact. Disgusted, Mark grabs Thragg and drags them both into the sun, initiating a fierce final battle. As they fight within the burning sun, Mark questions Thragg about his motivations, to which Thragg reveals his pursuit of revenge for thwarted ambitions to rule the Viltrumite Empire. Mark, refusing to relent, pulls them deeper into the sun's core, burning away their flesh. In the midst of the intense battle, Mark verbally condemns Thragg's leadership in Viltrumite practices. The fight becomes more intense, with explosions from the sun causing the destruction of Robot's armor on Invincible. In the final moments, Thragg, having suffered significant damage, breaks both of Mark's arms in a fit of rage. However, Mark retaliates, finally killing Thragg by ripping his throat out with his teeth. Prepared to face his own demise, Mark is unexpectedly rescued by Alan, leaving Thragg's lifeless body to be consumed by the sun. With Thragg's death, the Viltrumites can now progress as a race under the leadership of Mark's family, poised to become a force for good in the universe. That concludes this video. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Until next time, take care.